Okay, so today we're going to talk about E.E.A.T or E.A.T, the HVAC SEO game changer for 2023. I'm Nolan. This is Jason.
Howdy.
For HVAC Webmasters. We're going to talk about DataPins too, of course. E.E.A.T. You mind giving me the new E and the new acronym?
Just recap. E.A.T.
Expertise,
Authority, Trust.
Right.
Has been around for a few years now. It's been like a big topic of conversation. It's just you show through your content and reviews and all the other stuff we always talk about. You show expertise and authority, and that builds trust, and that helps you rank. Simple enough.
Right.
This year, Google added to its guidelines. This is straight from Google. This isn't like some guess that people out in the SEO world are like saying, well, we think we're seeing this thing. This is all straight from the horse's mouth. They added another E, and it's experience.
Before we keep going on, I'm going to tell everybody that I'm going to break this down like super simple so everybody understands, because it starts out, this is boring stuff.
Yeah.
It's very dry. But it's extremely important to the individual that wants to optimize online.
Right.
If you don't understand this stuff, you're essentially going to miss the mark. I use the analogy of, and I thought it was a good analogy, if you want to be the horse that gets put out to the factory, or if you want to be the horse that puts out to the factory for glue, or do you want to be the horse that puts out to the pasture for stud service?
Yeah.
And so you can be a horse that's like did your business and retires well, or you can be a guy that just falls from favor and you just kind of leave bitter and mad without as much money as you want with your HVAC company. And I mean, this stuff is everything to do with that. So what it also boils down to, and we'll get into what this stuff is, but people used to put up people put up horrible websites every day.
Yeah. I was about to say used to. They do it to this day.
They do it all the time, all the time. And it drives me mad. And I said this on another one. You know, we're not the cheapest and not the most expensive. We're the most skilled. We have the most resources. We have the most stuff. But if people don't spend some time and attention on this stuff, they're just not going to show up in ranking. Most people get these horrible websites put up. I was talking to a guy the other day, put up a 400-page duplicate website.
Yeah.
All copied. So he just comes out the gate with his brand new company, paid a guy out of Dallas $500.
Yeah.
And I lambasted that guy. Like that poor guy, that poor man. Like he's in Dallas. I said, I presume in a slum or under a bridge eating ramen noodles at best.
Dry ramen, crunchy, not even.
He's like, well, he seemed like a good guy. I said, he seems like a horrible guy. That he's not done yet, but he's already spammed your website horribly.
It's too late.
And you gave no respect for anything that Google wanted. And you've already been labeled as a spammer. I said, in fact, they only indexed 9 pages of your 350, 400 page site. Yeah. And what that means to you guys is if you choose to turn a blind eye, to not pay any attention to this stuff, to spam crap out or do nothing. We did another one where we talked about the Goldilocks zone. So it's not too little. It's not too much in a certain bad way, but it's just right. And
right.
E.E.A.T has to do with kind of just right. If everything else was just right.
Right.
You know, and what that means is
E.E.A.T goes into what your content says about you. Not necessarily just like
what your
quantity
and branded signaling says about you.
Yeah. And it says what it tells people in Google about your business.
What the HVAC contractor company owner thinks typically is that they put up a website and get Google reviews and then they fight for ranking.
Right.
What they've done there is completely crapped on their branded organic web presence, limited the amount of keywords they could have shown up for, stripped it of signaling for E.E.A.T, and then worked on one simple item. While other people that were more savvy...
The reviews speak to the trust part of the algorithm.
They do.
But they ignore the rest of it.
Right. And then how would they know they had expertise or experience?
Yeah.
Maybe the trust on the reviews implies a little bit of that, but it isn't enough, you know? And so as somebody has a web presence and they throw up something and then they think they're providing stuff to Google, almost everybody's scarred by years of, or just ingrained in what they think they're supposed to give to Google. So they start blogging or throwing up pages. And then they've inadvertently spammed Google. That's the Goldilocks zone. Too little, too much. It doesn't mean content's bad. It means that people get bad content.
Yeah.
This came on the heels of, do you want to explain what the helpful content update is?
The helpful content update it's a major update to Google's ranking algorithm. It started back in August we were first talking about it, August 2022.
September I was going to say, but I don't know.
September,
maybe August.
like
yeah.
When they first started rolling it out, they actually started rolling out a new phase of it just this past week. And the whole point of it is the thing they've been telling us to do for years is write for the user, the reader, not the search engine. They've been saying this for you've been saying for over 5 years. That's what they want. Right. But they finally have rolled out, they finally got the algorithm where it can really determine that. And
I didn't even understand this concept as a business owner in this space when it came out because it was so foreign to me. We always wrote websites. What we mean is that we wrote a website page up, and let's say we put up a page about mini splits, and we wrote it with certain ideas in mind of keyword saturation, the city, the title, meta tags.
Which words are touching, what's in the title tag.
All so that the algorithm could read it and decipher it. Now, in our defense, Google needed that in order to optimize it.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked really well. So we weren't doing anything wrong at the time.
But as time went on, if it wasn't a small shift in thought process, like, is this great for a user experience? Did we repeat the city name too much in content? Should we have put it in there at all?
Yeah.
Is it a good overall feel? And are there elements that will help the user have a good experience instead of what Google reads on the algorithm? And when you begin to change the elements of that and you look at the whole brand of the company and signals and the health of a brand that come through to Google, then it begins to make more sense. What did they mean? It means they don't want you to have a bunch of crappy blogs because you thought Google needed to see blogs to have you rank for the keywords.
Yeah. It ends we have to do these 5 things on the website every month in order to rank.
Right.
Kind of thought process. It kicks that completely out. And it's looking entirely at whether or not the end user is getting a good experience, getting good information.
Right.
And that's how it determines rank now.
So,
and it's getting very good at it.
It's getting very, very good at it.
Yeah.
And so your job is to bring in a variety of branded signaling that make Google feel like you have expertise, experience, trust, authority. I'm going to segue for a second and tell what I think is a funny story. Just that I'm 50 and I'll make calls that I didn't used to make, and they're perfectly fine to me. But I told you about the story about the guy that had a guy left a bad Google review for a marketing company that we're aware of.
Right.
I'm not going to mention the marketing company or the guy, but the guy went forward with this company, and it's the concept of what was wrong here. He listened to a salesperson sell him a bill of goods, which a ton of people listening. Let me rephrase it. If anybody's ever done marketing online that's an HVAC contractor for any length of time, they've been screwed by a digital marketing agency.
Yes, so they've had this happen. I mean, and in the review the guy left, he admits basically that he fell for it. Yeah.
And then he bought it. Now, I called him. I haven't done this in a long time not because I'm a big shot, because I'm 50 and I'm busy.
We don't generally cold.
I don't cold call.
Yeah, we
people.
don't cold call. We put our information out there and let people that are ready, and we put stuff like this out there, and then people find it come to us.
But I was intrigued by this whole thing, and I wanted to speak to him. So I said, "Hey, this is Nolan Walker. I saw the bad review you put up, and which started it weird.
Yeah,
but he had he'd tried to do something online, and I'm going to make sense of this for E.E.A.T. But he tried to do something online. It didn't work. So I said, I'd like to hear your experience, because I want to hear what people are doing, all these bad digital marketing agencies and companies. But I'd also lend you my ear, and I'd hear what happened, and I'll explain to you what went wrong. Like how you didn't, give them E.E.A.T. And I didn't go into that, but I was gonna, put all.
You'd have kind of given him
in.
that probably without calling it that,
And he acted like a dirty hobo had assaulted him while he was eating a steak dinner, like in Trading Places, like Eddie Murphy was out there, like.
No, Eddie Murphy.
No, that was Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd was outside,
looking inside the restaurant.
He had the salmon. He smelled bad, and eating it with a. Remember, he had the fake beard, and he was eating salmon
and the beard at the same time.
That's what I felt like. Like he's like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "I'm just calling to. I'll help you decide what it is. I don't have to sell you anything." The point, and the guy we got off the phone awkwardly.
Yeah.
And I guess I bring it up because it was an interesting thing that happened a few hours ago. And I realized that the guy had no idea what made his website show up or not. If he had, he may or may not have bought the magic pill software thing that he had bought. But he also didn't understand it enough and didn't want to talk about it. Like I don't want people to be in this state of like reactionary fear, or they're like paralyzed with like this anxiety and anger or angst over what Google's doing. Yes. And I'm trying to, so I'll try to draw this down to a simpler format for you or anybody listening so that you can understand. You don't have to be that guy. Now, getting screwed by people is just part of life and sales, and unfortunately with marketing.
Definitely part of running a business.
It's part of running a business, and you don't get shell-shocked and walk away, and you don't hear E.E.A.T, and your brain wants to explode from hearing this crap. But it's really just having a great quality written website that's coded pretty well. You're going to have some help like HVAC Webmasters and DataPins, and you're going to have some signaling out there. And you think about more than just the reviews. You go, hey, would people like to see a page of, should I talk about thermostats? Or the many types of thermostats? Could I use a tool like DataPins to talk about an M30 Wi-Fi thermostat?
Right.
And so stuff like that. And then, like if they have reviews, do I think that Google would show my website or show my map if my website doesn't have a page for whatever it is? How about indoor air quality?
Yeah, for whatever term the person has searched. Google doesn't know that you want to show up.
If I don't have it on my website, would Google even know that I had that? And if I want to show up in the mapping, wouldn't I need a page on there in case they happened upon my brand? Wouldn't they need something to have a great user experience? And there's your answer as to why Google won't show you.
Right.
Because you didn't give them content or a page to land on. They don't know you do it in the first place. And even if they thought you might take care of indoor air quality or allergens or whatever, or ventilation, outside ventilation, they're not going to show you unless the user had a good experience. And in case you think that they're only going to land on your map only, it's not good enough. They might happen upon your website and then they'd have a poor user experience.
Yeah. You cannot put enough information in your Google business profile to show up for every keyword that's actually available to you in search. The Google business profile just doesn't have enough space.
Good point, Jason.
To do that. Yeah. And your website is the platform you control. And so you should put everything in there you offer.
Everything you offer, products, services, but not necessarily trash.
Yeah.
Trash blogging and stuff. Nolan Walker here for DataPins. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called DataPins, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapins.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs, up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients, direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by DataPins and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords. And remember, those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website your rankings, and the map placement. Check out DataPins. I think you'll be happy you did. So bad content's bad. Blogs are 99% bad because you're just trying to game Google. Even if you think you want to think a way around Google. Let me ask this. If somebody had 100 blogs, could you take them to a dinner party and have people like dying to read them? You print them all out. And it's like, hey,
would you like to read my blog?
Would you got all these blogs out here if anybody wants to peruse and read through all of them. So that answers your questions. Your blogs are trash.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to read your blogs. They will digest a little bit of information about a furnace or whatever it is. And then if they're having a problem with it, and they just want to see that you provide the service, and then you can use a tool like DataPins to expand on brands and things and write captions like just replace the Linux air handler with a Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat, which, by the way, just gave you experience and expertise combined.
Yeah. That's part of the reason we're talking about this is we had seen this chatter about the new E experience as part of the algorithm. We're like, well, what does that mean? And we looked up Google, kind of what Google was saying about it. It was like, content will rank higher if it's from a person with experience in the subject. Like if you've done this thing and you write about it, you'll automatically rank higher because you have direct experience with it. And Noah looked at me and went, DataPins. Because it was immediately DataPins without us, once again, we're ahead of the curve, is feeding directly into this new thing they're looking for. Because it's like your reviews show the trust. Your regular page content that talks about what you do and what you know about it establishes expertise and authority. And then DataPins establishes experience.
Yeah, so another way to look at this so that you can break it down is that we have a tool that we've created in a separate company. It's fantastic. It allows you to say where you are right from a technical and experience perspective, what you did.
Right.
I just worked on a such and such, brand, Linux 16 or whatever it is. And then you can add in stuff like the air handler and M30 Wi-Fi thermostat. When you have a normal website, typically you don't have enough on there anyway, or it's copied or it's AI content, which is all bad. Too little content, copied content, AI content. Yes, ChatGPT. Yes, Jasper. Yes, all that stuff. They can catch that and penalize it. Or let me rephrase it. They do catch that and penalize it.
Yeah.
And
we've tested it.
Let's say that you have a typical little 10-page site and it was all written well. And you're like, oh, I have a page for AC and heating and air quality. And I have it already, Nolan. But you have these pages that were past the copyright regulation. But so there's like 10,000, 50,000 other HVAC companies that all have unique pages that were written in this standard general jargon, and it's all saying
if you're looking for air conditioning service in city X,
we're a great air conditioning company and furnaces, and it's all general crap. And I've been complaining about it for years and wondered when Google was going to fix it. We developed a tool that began to fix the problem years ago.
Yeah.
But you end up still having to make these basic pages of garbage. And they're garbage pages that have nothing to do with experience or expertise. It's just a unique page about one of your services.
Right.
And it's a really poor quality read. But when you take DataPins and you start tagging the individual pages and you start talking about unique things that you run into, parts and brands and situations and stuff that you've fixed, that adds experience and expertise and turbocharges that page. And if that 400-word page that we wrote that was written as well as we can, with schema code and you're all structuring and the words were done right and the city's in there perfect, it's still basic. And then let's say that you do 100 pins with 10 words each for 1,000 words, and it goes from a 400-word basic page that needed to kind of be there still today, and now it's 1,400 words with an expertise level. That's stinking fantastic, and it's E.E.A.T.
Yeah,
and everything starts to pop.
Every one of those pins, we talk about this a lot. That DataPins hits the algorithm at multiple points, and now it hits it at another one.
Right.
Because like every pin is like it lights up geolocation. It lights up new keywords. It lights up rich media with a
authority,
photo.
trust, expertise. I mean, you could count some
and
stuff
now
in there.
experience. It says, oh, boom, this is this person performing this actual service. So they know what they're talking about. And then it looks and says, oh, they've got 400 of these. That's experience.
So you want AC repair coming up as your primary keyword, let's say, air conditioner repair. But there's another 400 guys in town that all have a page, and let's give them benefit of the doubt, say that it was written well, but general, but it didn't violate copyright rule.
Right.
Now
there won't be that many that did it right.
There won't
we'll
be.
be nice.
I know. We know that 99% are bad, but somebody got onto me about that the other day. So I need to change my ways and not talk bad about the 95% of bad web companies out there, Jason. Anyway, so when you get this stuff done and now you have an AC repair page and it's got 100 pins or 50 or whatever, 100 for math, and you did 10 words again, just replace this, and Linux air handling, Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat. Google says, oh my God, they work on the M30 Wi-Fi thermostats. Do you know it'll spider it and stick your map ranking up on it? Mm-hmm. It's insane. And then Linux, they go, oh, we didn't know that. We thought they worked on air handlers, but didn't know for sure. And they work on Linux air handler. Somebody goes and types it in. And then let's just say AC repair, the primary keyword. No one worried about primaries. Well, now your primary page that optimizes for the primary keyword has all this other stuff in it that increases the entity keyword availability, the authority, the trust, all that stuff is inherent through the page. And you've raised your hand 100 stinking times saying, not only do we do AC repair, here's where we stinking did them.
Here's where we did it. And here's the very specific thing we worked on. And here's how many times.
So if you want to be the, I don't know if I'm ready to wrap this up yet, but if you want to be the glue factory horse or the stud horse, the stinking stud horse when we retire, I got to tell you, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that almost all become the glue factory horse. And I mean, you can hear it in the bitterness of someone who's lost their way for whatever reason, you know? I'm not, but if
we get those calls all the time, you guys that have tried and they just haven't found the right help and they're just defeated.
But anyway, so if you want to be that guy, you got to figure this stuff out. I've been saying this a lot lately. It's your job, man, to do this stuff. It's not your job to get irritated about it or yell at web people or to try to get some poor guy out of Dallas to eat ramen noodles and live in a slum to make you a 350-page website that has duplicate copied content.
And has no hope of ever bringing you any business.
And then start yelling at web people because you decided to feed somebody 2 peanuts and get pissed off about why you couldn't do the work for the same price it would have cost in 1959. Right?
No, you're right.
It's true. But people do that in our industry.
They do.
So that's the flip side of it. And this is fair game. There's a lot of bad web companies out there. Like 95% of them, at least, are bad and will sell you paid, don't know how to get you up in organic, don't have skill sets, don't have resources, don't have proprietary software. But there's a lot of company owners that will go pay some poor bastard $500 to develop a 350-page website that's eating ramen noodles and getting bad nutrition from it, and then bitch at all web companies.
Yeah. I've done it. I got this website. I paid good money
I
for that.
paid good money.
Didn't do anything.
Oh, he tried to say that. I said, how dare you? This poor guy is like...
$500 is a trip to the grocery store.
I saw an article out the other day. I told this guy this. I said, there's just an article that proves that ramen noodles are cause cancer. They're bad for you, Like we all kind of knew they were bad for you.
Cancer. You should be ashamed.
But seriously, though, it's the there's almost no one that somebody can call to get it done well. But you've got to have our side. You got to have our side help, and then you have to understand your side a little bit so that you come along and help a little bit. You have to do a pin or get a review. But if you just get a review only and you wonder why your map doesn't show up, it's like because your signaling's poor.
Right.
You have one thing, and they're judging. We don't know how much. They don't call me and Jason up and say, "Hey guys, let me tell you what we're judging this week."
You need to tell your people to structure their pins this way. We have to watch all these things come through, look at the data we get in, and then look at what the pins are doing, and tell the clients, "Okay, this is what's working right now," and it changes.
Hey there, guys. Nolan Walker here for HVAC Webmasters. Glad you're listening to the podcast, but I'd like you to become a client. We're a digital marketing agency that have done this for 12 years. I don't think there's anybody better than us at this point in time. We will help you with your design, your code, your content, showing up as high as we can on Google ranking, your organic ranking, your map ranking, your reputation, your reviews. Our digital marketing agency will help you be the best possible online. We can help you with all of it, even paid. We even have a software company called DataPins that's proprietary. We made it for you guys. You can take 90 seconds and do a pin on each job. We call them data pins, and it'll grab the geo coordinate where you're located. It looks like a little red pin drop, but to Google it looks like a digital hand raise. This helps them see where you're working. So if someone doesn't give you a review, they've got this with photos of the job that count as unique content and a caption. Let's say it's Linux air handler replacement with Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat. This is additional content that's literally going to drop on the individual service and city pages on the website and expand your keyword search ability. It's crazy how cool DataPins is, combined with the SEO and digital marketing agency services of HVAC Webmasters.com. Guys, check us out. We'd love to hear from you. So I have an analogy for this, and this will help someone too, maybe or maybe not, but I've been talking about this for years with JMAT, and I'm like, before this happened, and this actually happened about a year and a half ago, year and a quarter, that Google would put out an algorithmic change, and then everybody would run over and start doing the thing that affects the change. They go, oh, we got to do more links now. And it's all about domain authority. Oh, we got to run over to branded search. It's about branded search and brand search. And or we need long form pages and blogging for content. And people would run to these changes. And I told JMAT like 3 years ago, I was like, it's going to come a day where you just can't figure it out, because it started looking like if you want to understand how Google's algorithm works, they used to get gamed by people all the time. They take advantage of them.
Yeah.
And so they keep adding elements to it, and there would be separate elements of the algorithm that would be separate, panda and penguin and pigeon and all this crud. But you could tell over time that those algorithmic components were being put back into the whole, and that changes were more immediate. Yeah. And so you wouldn't have a window of time to see a change to tell whether it was affecting the algorithm quickly or not. And about a year and a quarter ago, essentially what happened was, if you imagine like a bunch of burners on a stove, let's say there's like 20 of them. Used to, one would turn up and you go, oh, they're wanting this.
Yeah.
Now they're just turning them up and down all over the place so fast that human beings cannot detect what's happening.
I believe that there's a management algorithm that is turning them up and turning them down, and there's no actual human involved.
Well, I believe
but
so.
That's just
Yeah, very, very possibly so.
Yeah.
And then people make the comment, SEO's dead. No, SEO changed, and you're dead if you don't figure it out.
Right.
So that's the truth of the matter. SEO is alive and well. You can optimize your map rankings. You can optimize your brand, your signaling. Why would Google even have the acronym E.E.A.T if it wasn't a component and a factor of optimization?
Yeah. It's one of the few things that they give us directly, that they tell us, this is what we're looking for. And they don't tell us a lot. So when they tell us anything, we pay attention.
It's obvious that you can optimize. We are one of the few that do it and have some programmatic help that helps the user give experience and expertise on their end that we couldn't do on our end.
Right.
And unique signaling like a GPS coordinate.
We can't follow you around and log what you do every day for you.
Yeah, somebody follow Pa around and get all the brilliant information out of his mouth, and scribe it as it goes.
That's our next product offering. Is we'll have a drone that connects to your website and it follows you around and does a video blog all day, every day.
Just always right.
Automatically transcribes
just 4 feet off your head with a microphone.
That is $1 billion idea.
Is it? That's some dystopian, messed up shit, man. That's what that is. Orwellian stuff. But anyway, so yeah, you can do these things. You need to do these things. If you want to win, you've got to understand a little bit about it. You need some expertise and help on our side to help the signaling.
And a lot of this sounds complicated and arcane. But with something like DataPins, it's really not. It's really going in and saying, I was here today and this is what I did.
60, 90 second action.
Yeah. I think we timed it at a 45-second, You can do a pin in 45 seconds.
Put in, you write a quick caption, tag 3 photos up to 6, put in the client's cell phone number, tag the page or two you want it to go on the website, and hit pin. Automatically grabs the geo coordinate, tells you where you are. It looks like a digital hand raised wrapped in schema. So now instead of having only 50 reviews and Google only knowing you did 50 things, they see 500 pins and know you did 500 things. You also, the unique content helps the map show up, and it helps the organic keywords show up, and the photos and captions not only post to the individual pages on the website for organic optimization, map optimization, keyword optimization back to the website, but also go and post to the Google business profile.
Right.
And it's badass signaling. So it's extremely helpful. You need it badly. And we didn't go into the fact that the amount of items, the amount of equipment or parts and brands and HVAC makes it for the perfect storm.
Yeah, we love DataPins. I think we like DataPins for HVAC more than anything else.
It works for everything.
Yeah, it works great for everything.
But HVAC works on dozens and dozens of brands. Yeah. And now there's Wi-Fi thermostats, and there's solenoids, and there's coils to be cleaned, and there's air handlers and fans, and just there's just tons of stuff.
Yeah, and more, and I think more of the customers that, like the HVAC customers, know what brand of thermostat and AC unit they have, because it's right there in the house with them all the time.
They do.
They don't know they don't know who made the pipes in their plumbing for plumbers, so it's not the same. But they know, because the thermostat that they mess with every day has the brand name right on the front of it. Same thing with the air conditioner.
So people are unaware, but there's been a report out that half of all human search is low search volume, or what somebody might call a long tail keyword. And it would be something like, need help reprogramming my Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat.
Yeah.
In Houston TX. So all the stuff that we talked about that is the mere essence of expertise and experience that comes through content, through DataPins, is optimizing the living shit out of the website for keywords and situations that Google doesn't even have on a local level, because of all the shit pages we told you have been written over the decades.
Yeah, because everybody tries to get AC repair. Nobody tries to get all that other stuff.
But half of all the search is that.
Yeah.
And everybody's leaving it on the table.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity.
And by utilizing DataPins, you're going to solve E.E.A.T and get in the Goldilocks zone and freaking dominate for thousands of keywords. I was doing one of these searches just not too long ago. That was a client, that we liked, that did one. His captions are better than I can remember, but Linux air handler replaced
he
with
puts
Linux.
He actually has, he runs an extremely organized business.
Right.
And he has all of his guys in their write-up on site after they do a job. They do an extremely detailed description of every job, like a paragraph, like 50 words or more. Mm-hmm. And he called me once, like 2 years ago, and said, could I just copy these into DataPins? And I was like, great. You know what? Do it.
His are great.
We don't have anybody doing that, so give it a try. And so you look at his pins, and instead of like one line, it's like block. It's like a wall of text for each one.
Client did like a 9 or 10 word caption on a pin that talked about a brand and a material, or on this case, in a part, brand and part. And it optimizes. I mean, I haven't found the end of them. It's dozens and dozens of keywords in Pack3 mapping half the time, 1 through 3 on keyword ranking organically all the time.
Yeah. Some of these things are things that under other circumstances would never have invoked a map pack. Mm-hmm. But the use of DataPins, along with everything else going on the website, causes the map to appear.
Right.
And like our client will be number one, and then Google will grab a couple of other people that they think sort of match it to fill out the map.
I've said before, and I'll say again, that burner thing I'll finish up on. It doesn't really matter. So if you're providing, you can't game Google, and the best in the SEO realm can't figure it out anymore.
Yeah.
But if you'll provide them damn good website, branded signaling, and everything that we're talking about, You just provide all that stuff. You know what we started doing when that happened? We continued all good things that we know and didn't stop. And if it was
we do all of them, and we don't say this is what we need to do this month. We just do everything all the time.
Correct. Yeah. We do all good things all the time, and then we embellish as we move forward with innovation like DataPins. And we constantly do all the good things. And when we did that, because I was like, what are we going to do when that happens? And it happened.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of SEOs are like, I don't know. I'll tell you something else before we finish up here, but when SEOs come up to you and start plugging in funneling, drips, emails, landing pages, Google ads, Facebook ads, it means they suck ass at organic.
That is an admission of incompetence.
It's an admission of incompetence on organic. They do not know how to do it, but they will bill you a line item for all those things I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And it will sound fantastic.
Yeah, all those things look really good on a spreadsheet. And that's why they're there, to look really good on a spreadsheet.
They are shit things on a return on investment. I don't mind doing some Google ads. They will work for people, but they cost a crap ton more than organic optimization, which is still over 70% where people go to look, and it's absolutely optimizable. If anybody at this stage in the game thinks that you can't organically optimize a map after listening to us, I expect clients at this point in time to have some respect for these items. In fact, if clients don't have enough, I don't care if they understand it, really get it, but they ought to be able to gut check that I need this stuff.
Yeah.
And then it might be the stuff that I've been screwed on by the other people. The guy that I'm talking about that acted like I was a hobo calling him, and it's not his fault really. I wanted to have a decent discussion about a situation, and I thought it might help me and him.
Yeah.
But he had gone on tilt and had this.
Yeah, well, I
read
read the review. And
did you see the website?
No, I didn't.
He put up a 5-pager and gave up.
Did he? Mm-hmm. I was about to say he's on the track to give up, because what he said on the review was that he spent X amount of money and he got reports from this other company showing that it was working great, but he never got any business out of it. People
listening to us are getting past that and educating themselves.
Hope so.
But in no other thing in life do people spend a little bit of money and say, well, I got a lemon car. I guess I'll never buy another one. I guess
I'm walking.
I'm
forever.
Walking for life. Nobody gets a CPA go, well, he was a bastard. I guess I'll never do my taxes again. Nobody does these things. Yeah. Well, man, that was the toughest steak I ever had. I guess I'll never order one again.
Beef is bad. Beef is terrible. I'm never.
But if they work on their website and get bad work from somebody, they'll just swear it off for life and never do it again. Well,
it usually does have to happen more than once. But yeah,
you know what I'm saying, though. But there is that. I mean, but they literally will. They'll swear it off, and I'm here to tell you not to, because you can get dominant. There's so many other HVAC companies. I'll leave you with this ray of hope. There's so few people sending out the signals, and all these little signals raining down around your brand is what Google judges you against other people to compare you against, see how well you show up.
Yeah, and so few people, are doing it correctly.
Right.
That
you can get up in ranking.
Yeah, you have an opportunity. You have a spot that you can get.
You have a spot waiting on you when you want to get serious enough, because Google's trying to give a better user experience than the other bozos in your market are giving them, but they're just showing them because they don't have any better to show.
Right.
So you can show up in ranking just by getting better E.E.A.T signals out. It's a good place to end, I guess. Guys, on that note, we'd love to hear from you. I always tell people we're Texas straightforward, Texas respectful. We'll tell you like it is, but I'm humbly grateful to have a client. And I always say thank you. Texas style. Right. We're grateful to have business, and I will never change that way. We tell you the truth because we want longevity in the client relationship.
Right.
So people ask me, like, how long does this take? It depends on a lot of factors. I can tell almost immediately how long it's going to take because I've done it a long time based upon how long they've been in business, how many reviews they got, how much their signaling has gone down. So if you got questions, we'll answer them. We'd love for you to like and subscribe. And if you want to hear some more about DataPins, we've got a couple the specialty podcast about it. It's worth listening to. Or you can go to datapins.com, DATAPINS, data or data. And actually, I think we have it spelled if it's like a pen too.
Yes.
Yeah. Give us a call. We'll see you.
Take it easy.